Welcome to our next Live Longer Better in Hertfordshire Masterclass. It's great to see so many people turn up today. I think this is the fourth or fifth in the series since we've begun, and they continue to be really well attended and some great insights into some of the bits and pieces for active aging that are going on around Hertfordshire. We're super happy to have Claudette Rhiney here today with us, a health improvement coordinator for lifestyle within public health at Hertfordshire County Council. She's going to talk to us all about the It's Never Too Late to Be Active campaign that's launching next month. But before I hand over to her, just a quick bit of webinar housekeeping. You probably worked out already if you're in attendance, but all participants will remain muted throughout the webinar. Your cameras are off. So you're absolutely safe that way. The event will last 60 minutes, might be a little bit shorter. If it goes any longer, obviously we will circulate a recording afterwards if you need to get off. For your best viewing experience, we suggest selecting speaker view. And we do absolutely encourage, as people are already comments and networking through the chat function, please do introduce yourselves. It's a great way to get to know other people that are looking at active aging initiatives around the county. When you do comment, please make sure you select everyone in the options. Otherwise, it's only myself and Claudette that will see your comments, and we want everyone to be able to see what you're saying. If you've got a specific question for Claudette or myself as we go, then please use the Q&A function, and then the questions won't get lost in the chat. Nice and easy, just click the Q&A and it will say who you want the question to go to, and you can pop your question in there and I'll pick that up and make sure that they're answered before the end of the event. And then, as I say, the webinar will be recorded. It'll be hosted on the Live Longer Better in Hertfordshire website within the next couple of days. So if you want to recap any of it or send it to any colleagues, then I'll circulate the link once it's uploaded. And then just very quickly, before I do pass over to Claudette, I'm wary that there's a few people registered who's their first time at a webinar for Live Longer Better this time. So I wanted to do a quick recap of the movement in general. So what we're trying to achieve as a network is the use of physical activity to encourage longer, healthier and happier lives for older adults in Hertfordshire. It's not a project in its kind of traditional sense, because there's all sorts of things going on with all sorts of different people and organizations. It's really a sort of moving machine. We're calling it a movement because we're trying to lead this revolution, as Muir would say, on the national scale, to try and move from that change of culture, from one of the inevitable care system into one of enabling our older adult population to be more active and be more independent as they move into their later years. There are three main aims that we aim to achieve through the movement. That's increasing collaboration across the county within active aging, increased learning and upskilling opportunities through learning events like this, and as I say, that change of culture from care to enablement. And webinars like this are really, we're trying to tick all three boxes with those, by getting some kind of specific local bits and pieces and knowledge that will help people across the county, but also letting you come into a virtual space together, and hopefully leave with a bit more in your arsenal for active aging than before the event. So without any further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and invite Claudette to share hers, and then take it away. Like I say, if anyone has any questions or comments, please do put them in the Q&A in the chat as we go. I'll pick them up and ask the questions to Claudette kind of throughout the event. Over to you, Claudette.
You did say remember to unmute yourself, didn't you? I forgot. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. So thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you can all see my screen. It's got the main Never Too Late screen on there. So just like to introduce myself again. As Will said, my name's Claudette Rhiney, and I'm a health improvement coordinator for public health, adult health improvement. And I lead on the It's Never Too Late to Be Active campaign, and you'll hear me shorten that to just Never Too Late because it's a bit of a mouthful otherwise. I form part of a multidisciplinary project team, which includes myself from public health. We have a project manager, behaviour change lead, an evaluation lead, a comms lead. We have web team support, business admin support, and we also have a dedicated team that have built our new CRM system that we're going to be using for the first time this year. So yeah, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about the rationale behind the campaign's development and the insights into behaviour techniques, behaviour change techniques that we've used to inform this campaign and the previous campaign. So just want to double check that you can all see my screen.
Yep, everything's good.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So it's not changing on my screen. Okay, so can I just ask how many people have worked or are currently working with older adults?
Yep, I've got the poll that we can pop up there. So everyone be ready. It should pop up on your screens in 2 seconds. So the question is, do you currently work with older adults? Just give you all a couple of minutes to answer on there. It's nearly everyone.
It's nearly everyone, brilliant.
Okay.
And second question.
1 second, I'll just, last couple of answers. Okay, I'll end that one. And just so you know, so we've got 19 out of 20 people that answered that are currently working. So the vast majority are working with older adults.
Older adults. Okay.
Brilliant. And then the next question
is how many have heard of the Never Too Late campaign before?
Absolutely. Answers are coming in.
Quite a few have, there's a few haven't. Half, so I'm not sure. There are a couple of names I did recognise in the introductions.
Okay, so I'll end that there and share the results with everyone. So majority have, but a fair amount haven't, and there's a couple of people in there that weren't sure. They may have heard about it.
Probably about half and half.
About half and half.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll give you a little bit of background about the Never Too Late campaign. We first started in 2018, although it's predominantly aimed at over 55s. It is open to anyone aged over 18, and its aim is to encourage and support older adults who currently do little or no physical activity to build up to do enough over the 12 weeks of the campaign to achieve health benefits in line with the physical activity guidelines. So in particular this year, we're looking at those activities that can aid in combating the impact of COVID and the restrictions. So the first campaign was run in 2018, and it would have rerun in 2020 if it wasn't for COVID. So this campaign this year gives real opportunities to support and enable older adults to overcome those barriers for being active. The original campaign, the 2018 campaign, we had over 3,600 people sign up, and 68% of those were over 55, with 35% of those being over 65 and 6% were over 75. And of those that signed up in that age group, 51% met or exceeded their physical activity goals, with 32% partly achieving their physical activity goals. So we really aim to replicate those results, if not make those better for this year. And we've made some slight improvements based on lessons learned. And I'm just going to go over through the insights a little bit later on.
Just to check, Claudette, the slides aren't being shared at the moment.
Are they not?
Because I think I might have ruined it with the polls, so you just might need to reshare.
Okay, so you can see that one, that's 12-week campaign.
I think if you need to share your screen again.
Oh, I'm not sharing.
I think it's because I did the poll.
Okay. Right, can you see
That's
that
it.
one?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. So it's the physiologically informed social media behaviour change campaign. It runs for 12 weeks and it will start next month from the 9th of May to the 29th of July. And people can sign up at any point during those 12 weeks. It provides real support to enable people to overcome their barriers to be active and it is delivered by us in Public Health, Herts County Council. So the reason we're having another campaign is, like I said, 68% of those that signed up were in the age group that we are looking to work with. As you may or may not know, the UK population is getting progressively older, and this trend is likely to continue, and the benefits to improve health have been well documented. I don't really need to, I mean, most of you work with older adults anyway, so I don't really need to talk to you about the importance of being active and the benefits that it has. In addition to physical and mental benefits, there is also an added bonus, as if we work with these adults and get them active, we can hopefully reduce that £16 million that it costs the Hertfordshire health economy each year. This estimate of 16 million doesn't include the cost of obesity or being overweight, so it's in addition to the cost, into that cost. So obviously physical activity is a major impact on reducing those health inequalities there. So the campaign aims, the main aim is to reduce the number of inactive older adults that do less than 30 minutes a week, and to increase the number taking part in at least 30 minutes. That's our main aim of the campaign. We have sub aims. Also aims to increase the number reaching the recommended guidelines for at least 150 minutes. And we also hope to improve the well-being of participants by the end of the campaign. We aim to raise awareness of local opportunities provided by leisure centres and other activity providers using the Moving More website, and work closely with Herts Sports Partnership, hence the webinar that we're doing today. And I don't know if any of you are aware of the Moving More activity finder, but we heavily featured that in our campaign and on our website, and we will have a quick demo hopefully towards the middle of this presentation, just to give you a clearer idea of what that activity finder looks like. So insights informing the campaign. So in addition to the evidence from the 2018 evaluation, we've used various insights and behaviour change techniques. One of those being the For England Active Ageing Perspectives, Tackling Inequality. And they identified 5 groups that were developed from a survey of over 2,300 people aged over 50, and they used the trans-theoretical behaviour change model. From these findings, they had 5 personality types, and our behaviour change team determined that 3 of those behaviours would benefit from being targeted during this campaign. So the first behaviour was my active days are in my past. The second behaviour was my life keeps me active enough, and those 2 both come into the pre-contemplation stage of the trans-theoretical model. And then the third behaviour was ongoing attempts to be active, and that came from the contemplation stage. So I'll just go into those in a little bit more detail. So the first personality type, like I said, my days of being active are in the past. These tend to be older adults that are facing a relevance gap, and they feel that their days of being physically active are over. They are health conscious and feel they already look after their health, but being active is no longer for them. They believe they are too old, too unfit, and it could have negative consequences on their health. This group are more obvious stereotype, and they tend to be older with long-term health conditions and more likely to be doing no activity in comparison to other older adults. Then you have the second group who feel that their life keeps them active enough. So that's my life keeps me active enough. These older adults feel they are active enough in the course of their life. However, there is also a perception gap with them. So between their actual behaviours and how they're active they think they are, there is that gap. They are more likely to be doing something, but don't feel that they need to do anything differently. and however, they're still not reaching their 30 minutes a day. They feel that changing their behaviour will involve addressing a mindset that doesn't see the need for change, and the views on activity. There's no need for change, and they view that the activity they do is enough to keep them healthy. There's a mindset change in those adults in that group. And then the third group that we're tackling is the group of adults that are no longer interested that have ongoing attempts to be active but haven't been able to make that habit stick. So this group of older adults are interested in being active, but despite being aware that they aren't active enough, haven't been able to make any of their physical activities stick on a regular basis. They may also face a number of emotional and practical barriers, such as lack of confidence, unsure what to do, worrying about their ability, and just feeling out of place. So the behaviour change team have developed the campaign messages and all our promotional material around these 3 personality types. Okay. Other insights, as you know, COVID has had a massive effect on everybody, and it's been really impactful on the older adults, particularly the 75 plus. And there's been a lot of decommissioning that occurred in the older population due to limited activity during the pandemic. So the Sport England report on activity levels showed that among the age group, the older adults, activity slowed among the adults during lockdown. It slowed quite considerably for the 55 to 74 age group, and there was a 1.3% decline in activities. Those over 75, they were particularly affected, and there was a 2.9% decline. However, we need to just bear in mind that this could in part have been the fact that that age group, particularly the over 70s, were asked to shield during the earlier stage of the pandemic. So that could impact on that 2.9% decline. With regards to recovery, the 55 to 74 age group in the main followed the national patterns, which initially saw a large drop in activity following the first lockdown, and then they saw a slight recovery between mid-September and mid-November. However, the 75 age group saw consistently large drops in activity levels throughout the whole period, and there was no real sign of recovery, which may indicate that we need to just concentrate a little bit more on this age group and offer them additional support to help recover them, for them to recover to their pre-pandemic activity levels. They also strongly agreed that the opportunities for being active had decreased and were a lot lower than pre-pandemic levels, which, to be honest, is kind of expected. So in addition to those insights, so the COVID insights and these Sport England personality types, there are a number of barriers to participation that were identified for older adults, including anxiety about becoming active, a lack of relatable role models, the perceived lack of opportunity to be active, and then obviously COVID. And as I've already pointed out from the second personality type from Sport England, there are a lot of older adults that already feel that they're doing enough, and this may be because they're not aware of how much they actually should be doing. So this campaign uses behaviour science and behaviour change techniques to improve outcomes, and we've identified key behaviour change techniques to hopefully make this an effective campaign. The social marketing research that was done and was also reviewed from last year, and it helped to inform the recruitment strategy. And this has identified that the 55s are increasing numbers in using social media. So those over 55 are getting more involved in social media, and they're also the fastest growing group on Facebook, and I can a testament to that, because most of my friends are in that age group, and that is our main social media mode that we use. Our own evaluation in 2018 campaign highlighted, like I said, 68% of the those registered were over 55. So this confirmed to us that we were marketing at the right levels. But we also recognise that we need additional support for those that aren't on social media platforms, are not using or aren't digitally enabled. So particularly the over 55s. So we need to think of other ways of promoting to those and increasing the uptake from the 75 plus age groups. For example, promoting the strength and balance classes who are active together and are active aging contracts. So these combined insights were instrumental in the development of the campaign, and we're going to repeat those again for this year. So just briefly, we used the behaviour check technique of the COMBI model, and I'm not a behaviour change specialist by any means, so I'm just going to put that slide up there, let you guys have a look at that, and just say this is the model that we use. Other than that, that's pretty much as much as I know, which is why we have the behaviour change team in with this project, so they can support us and make sure that we're embedding this in the campaign resources, messaging and websites, so that we're making sure we're reaching people with this method. Other behaviour change techniques that we're using and that are embedded in the campaign resources, so are that everyone that registers will receive a welcome call to help them get started. They also have an opportunity to download an activity plan to help them move from intention to the action phase, and record their activity journey to help them with their goal setting, and to record activity levels, as well as providing self-validation. Our posters and social media tiles feature real-life relatable role models, and they have targeted messages. We also make sure everybody has weekly motivational messages and nudges, and these messages will be targeted at the main motivator for joining the programme, as indicated when registering. So when people register onto the programme, they are asked a set of questions, and one of them is, what is your main motivation for registering? And they have, depending on their answer, they have four options: health, whether it's for social reasons, whether it's to improve mobility, or whether it's to do with a liking for sport. And based on that, on those answers, they will get their messaging each week along those subjects. We also have a dedicated helpline that can provide personalised behaviour support from our trained staff that are trained in motivational interviewing skills. They can also use that support line to call. If they're unable to register online, or they don't have the capacity to do that, they can call that number, and also and we will take them through the registration process and register for them. And there's also a number of incentives for people to register. So if they register, there's a prize draw that they go into. They can win up to £150 of prizes. And if they indicate that they found out about the campaign through the school, that they also could go into a prize draw. The schools can also go into a prize draw to win money for them as well. So there's an incentive to schools as well, for us to sign up people as well. There is also activity pass to enable the people to use leisure centres free for 7 days. And there's other surprises for completing the follow-up survey as well. So we have a follow-up survey at the end of the 12 weeks. Okay, so campaign's key components. We use a strong brand with targeted communications for both on and offline. Although I've said strong brand, and we are, to be fair, we are in the process of just changing the branding so it fits in with the new corporate plan. So the tiles that you're seeing at the top of these slides will change slightly. Got a slide that will just show you the new branding, but that's only just come in the last week or so, which is typical. As soon as you've got all your posters and everything ready, they're going to change the branding. So we are in the process of just changing the branding. So the website, the posters, the social media tiles will all reflect the new branding and will be in line with the HCC new corporate plan branding. But what won't change will be the real life case studies and the use of real life role models. So everybody that you see in our posters, our social media campaign, all the quotes are from real life Hertfordshire people that we've gone out and found and have given us real life quotes about how they either use physical activity in their everyday life or how they took part, the benefits of them taking part in the 2018 campaign, and how they've used physical activity to cope with COVID and the role that it played. And so the targeted messages that I spoke about also focus on the 3 for England personality types, as well as targeting the over 75s in creating these adverts. Okay, so these are the new poster designs. I apologise if they're quite small and can't really see what's going on, but we do have all of them have individual quotes. So everybody that we spoke to quoted personal quotes on how they feel exercise impacts on their life. We have the new positive branding in line with the HCC branding, so that we'll have these different little icons. So you've got a heart one on Esther's page. Jim's got the little clock, so he's made time for exercise. We've got Stephanie down here with her little heart icon. So, and like I said, they're all personal messages. They all have alternative join-in options. And we've just added new this year is the QR code. So I think COVID did have one positive impact for us, that people are getting used to using QR codes. So this QR code will take them straight to our dedicated website where they can sign up there. Our call to action is hopefully unintimidating. We have the incentives here. I know it's quite small, but it does say get your 7-day activity pass here. And like I said, these are all local role models and real life people. So okay, so all of these posters will be available either to download. We are going to be sending those out to schools, pharmacies, GP surgeries. We will have a slide on the GP screens as well. So if you see those in GP screens, if you're sitting in the GP waiting room, you'll see them come up on the GP screens. And they also have them featured on our website as well, so they'll be available to download there. And if you don't have online an online presence, we can send out hard copy posters as well. So, like I said, it is a social media campaign and it is driven predominantly through Facebook. So our Facebook advertising was the biggest driver. It attracted our main target audience to the website, and our paid Facebook ads reached over 45,000 people in the 2018 campaign, and it generated 1,500 clicks through to the campaign website. Visitors spent an average of 3 minutes on the Never Too Late page, which is twice as long as it's spent on any of the pages on the HCC website. And approximately 30% of the sign-ups were through our Facebook ads. So we do know that Facebook is a really good driver for this campaign, and we're going to continue to use Facebook ads. In addition to Google ads as well, we will be using those as well, but the main ads will be through Facebook. So we'll continue to use targeted social media marketing, and it will be tailored to the targeted groups, as I said, and all of these social media tiles that we use on our campaign will be available for partners to share on their social media tiles. I don't have any examples of the social media tiles at the minute, but they will be mainly feature the same principle as the poster campaigns, and we have around 14 or 15 different social media tiles that we'll be able to share with anybody that uses those. Okay, so our key partners, one of our key partners are the leisure providers, and we've had really great response and support from the leisure providers. We've had across the county 9 providers that are providing our activity passes, and this will cover 33 sites across the 10 districts. So anybody that registers for the Never Too Late campaign also has the opportunity to download a activity pass to their phone, or that if they want to, they can print it out, and they can take this along to their chosen leisure provider and exchange that for an activity pass. There are individual joining instructions, and you'll get those when you download your pass, so you'll know what you need to do before you go down there. So hopefully it just makes that transition between our activity pass and the leisure centre's activity pass a little bit smoother. So we've worked with the leisure providers just to make sure that this process is as seamless as possible for both the providers and the leisure providers, and also the participants that sign up to have an activity pass. This will give people the opportunity to sample the activities that are offered at each of these leisure centres. And like I said, the leisure providers have been really good in providing us activity passes and making sure that their 55 plus or their older adult activities are included on the Moving More Active Finder. Okay, so in addition to leisure providers, another big role for us has been working with the schools. So for those that don't necessarily use social media, schools were in the 2018 campaign a really good feeder for people to join to the campaign. If those of you that were involved in the 2018 campaign or knew of the 2018 campaign, you know that you may know that we used the Daily Mile, schools that delivered the Daily Mile as a feeder, and we held Daily Mile for all events at schools, and we encouraged the schools to invite their older adults into the schools to take part in an event and do the Daily Mile with the children there, and then register onto the campaign. However, again, due to COVID and hopefully to prevent any risk of an outbreak, we've changed that to hopefully a safer option. So this year, instead of a Daily Mile event for all, we've opted for a photography competition where we're asking for children to take pictures of their adults getting active, whatever activity that may be, and then they upload that picture to their registration form. So, for example, if I'm out getting active and my grandchildren take a picture of me getting active, I've registered for the campaign. I then upload that picture to my registration form online, and then those pictures will be judged, and the overall winner can then potentially win a family ticket to the Warner Brothers Harry Potter Studio tour for themselves. The photos will be judged independently by Steps to Skills team. So we've tried to keep it as mutually independent from us as possible. So it's not us judging the competition. So we are promoting this through our PTA and through the schools, the main schools Grid for Learning and the schools bulletin, and it's also through hard copy posters as well. Okay. The schools themselves also have an opportunity to win up to £1,000. So that's the incentive for the schools to encourage their older adults to get involved and to register. So every school registering, regardless of how many people they register, will be entered into a prize draw. And like I said, they can win up to £1,000. And there's 3 prizes. There's £1,000, £500 and £250 prizes for each school for them to spend on health incentives or staff training, anything to do with health. And there's also an additional £250 prize for the school that signs up the most participants as a percentage of their school roll. So some good incentives there for not just the schools, but also for the individual, if you like Harry Potter, that is. Who doesn't like Harry Potter, to be fair. So other key partners, obviously Heart Sports Partnership, and Will, who's been a really good advocate and supporter of this campaign from the beginning. Moving More Activity Finder, which we'll get a quick brief overview of that. The libraries, anybody who doesn't have a computer at home or access to a computer can go into the libraries and sign up through the libraries using their IT suites. Healthy Hubs have been great in the fact that they will also be helping to sign people up as well, but they will also be helping us co-host all our launch events for the first fortnight of the campaign. Hearts Help will be helping us to signpost and support people to sign up to the campaign. And then, as I said, Step to Skills will be helping us with the judging of the action shot photo competition for the schools. And obviously all the leisure providers didn't have enough space to put all their logos on here, but the leisure providers are a big key partner as well. Okay, we do have a dedicated website. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and then I'll just take you quickly through our website. Have a quick look there. Hopefully I can do this. Okay, let's start sharing again. So this is our website. This is Mario again. He features quite heavily throughout our campaign. You can register here. I won't click on this because it's not live yet, and I'll show you our registration process in a little bit. We've got Sue here with her quotes. So these are our relatable, real role models. We have a link here that shows all a map to the leisure centres. So if you're not sure where your local leisure centre is or the nearest one to you, there's a link here that will show all the leisure centres that have provided activity passes for us to use. If you click on whichever leisure centre you have there, it gives you opening times, class times and everything. Another button to register. You can download the activity planner here. Some more case studies. Got Esther here. Got various links to different activities, local activities, the local walking group, park run, Hearts Park, and various other activities. Also got the health walks link here. We've got Anthony, another one of our role models, and Bibi, who's one of the ladies that takes part in the health walks on a regular basis. There's all our leisure providers that are providing the leisure passes. And before I quickly go on to the Moving More website, I just want to quickly go through our registration process just to show you how quick and easy that is. I filled it in briefly. So once you click on the register here, this form will come up. Fill in your name, date of birth, postcode. So date of birth, it's for over 18. So if you are under 18, it won't allow you to register. Postcodes are Hertfordshire specific, so you need to have a Hertfordshire postcode. We will accept work postcodes. So if you work in Hertfordshire but don't actually live in Hertfordshire, you could potentially use your work postcode. The usual demographic information, gender, ethnicity, disability. And then how did you find out about the campaign? If you click here, school, it does bring up the option to choose the school. It's really important that if you have ticked school, to pick the school that you heard from, because they will then go into the prize draw. If you don't pick a school, then obviously they miss out on that opportunity. And then just let us know if you heard through the PTA or not. I'm going to say I did. And then the next screen asks you about how you want to be contacted. So like I said at the beginning, everybody gets a welcome message, and this can either be through email, SMS text, or if you prefer a welcome call, we can do that as well. The welcome call is really useful if you're having any problems logging in or signing or downloading your activity pass. The welcome call will help you, take you through that. And there's also an option if you don't want to receive a welcome message, you can click that, and then you don't have to fill in any of these details. The motivational messages that you get on a weekly basis, if you need can tick email or SMS, depending on how you want to receive those. And again, there's the option not to receive those if you don't want to receive those. Mobile number is preferred if you've got a landline and you want to enter that as well. Email, and I picked that I want to do my activity pass from the Knights Templar Sports Centre. There's a whole list there as well. What's not on here, because this is just in the test site at the moment, is how you would like your activity pass or your activity planner. So if you want us to send it out in the post, there will, in the live version, be an option to click post, and then you can get it sent out in the post. There's a question around the main reason for joining the campaign, and these are linked to your motivational messages. So depending on which one you tick will determine the type of message that you get and the nudges that you get. So if you tick lose weight, the messages will be related to the weight loss. Brief information on what moderate activity looks like, and vigorous activity. And then it's asking you to just fill in how active you are throughout the week, so that when we come to the end of the campaign, we'll ask these questions again and see if this has increased. Ask the question around whether they're confident about taking part in 30 minutes a week, and you can move this button up or down on the scale of 1 to 100. Then we've got the ONS questions, the 4 ONS questions on well-being. Again, that's one of our aims, is to try and improve people's well-being. If participants do tick below a 5, there will be a message signposting them to help and information on our main website if they're feeling a bit low. We didn't want to just leave people as thinking, no, I'm not satisfied, and then just move on. So there is information and support for their well-being on each of these questions. They can get that support if needed. And they can just tick through to the website there. And what would they like to achieve from the campaign? I put able to walk further, and then tick on next. And then the last page is just really asking about future contact. If you'd like to be contacted for the survey at the end, which we recommend that people do, because that will help with the evaluation. And there's also incentives there in the form of gym passes, 3-month gym pass, Fitbits, and Sport Direct vouchers. So that's an incentive for people to sign up to the completion survey. Ideally, we'd like some more case studies, similar to the ones that we have currently running through the campaign. So if people are happy for us to contact us for those, then tick yes. And then lastly, to be entered into the prize draw. Then once they hit submit, they're not able to go back through the survey, but once they hit submit, just processes, and then it will come up with a never too late number. Now that number is very long, so that is used when you go to re-register or go to complete your completion survey at the end of the 12 weeks. That number will automatically will be automatically inputted into your completion form. So your registration form will be matched with your completion form. You'll be able to sign in again using your surname and date of birth. But that number will be featured on your activity pass. So when you take it to the leisure provider, they will be able to match it with the list that we've sent them, and then just tick you off as using your activity pass. And also, if you ring the helpline for any reason, that never too late number will also help us find your form in our system a bit easier. So that's our new CRM system. That's also helping with that will also send out the motivational messages. So back to the website. Will, do you want to go through the moving more?
Yeah, I can do that really quickly.
Stop sharing.
Brilliant. And I will share my other screen, which I think is that one. Claudette, are you seeing my moving more screen now?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, everyone. So I'll do this really quickly because I know we're running out of time. We've got some great questions to get through as well. So this is the Moving More website. It's been created by Heart Sports Partnership to try and improve awareness of physical activity opportunities around everyone. So 2 aims of for the public to be more aware of activities, and for people that are providing activities to increase their reach to the local community. So Attain, your comment from a couple of minutes ago about pickleball is absolutely brilliant. This is exactly what we want to try and help you with this website. And I'll show you how. So this is the landing page. It has different ways, so you can find activities near you, find activities to do at home, sort of online, and ways to upload your activity session as a provider. We've also got some other bits on there about nice case studies and inspirational stories and that sort of thing. But in terms of the activity search, so you click on here, find an activity near you, and that brings up the Moving More activity finder, if my internet works properly. So you can change the location here. I'm going to keep it as Hertfordshire wide, and then you put in the activity that you're looking for. So I'm going to do chair-based activities, and they are fixed criteria, so you have to sort of do a bit of searching around to find the right one, but all the main activities will be in there. Click search, and then that brings up the people that have opened their data to this website that are running chair-based activities. So you get a nice list over this side, you get a map showing you all the activities that are around you. You can change all the criteria here. So if you want to find something within sort of 5 kilometers on a specific date or a specific time, you can set whether it's going to be free or a price range, what age that you want your activity to be suitable for, accessibility requirements, and levels in terms of the intensity. And then you can click through on each of the results. Once you find one you like, I'll just click this nearest one. So that's an Otago strength and balance class. You can find out a bit more information about it there. All the providers provided lots of details about what's involved, that there's toilets and parking there. And if you want to reserve your spot, I won't do it, but you click that link and it'll take you through to the provider's website to find out some more details about that activity. That's it in a nutshell. What I'll say, I won't take up too much time of this event, but if anyone, when we circulate all the details, if anyone wants to talk more about that, then please do get in touch with me. I lead with my colleague on the Moving More website, so we can help you get your activities on there. I should have shown you on that first page, there's a providers section in the lists at the top. And if you click on that, it's got all the details of how you open up your data to that tool. And again, if you have any issues at all, then please do get in touch. The whole theory behind it is it's trying to take all of the replication away by opening data. And it's only session data, not personal data. I've had a few people ask that question. And then it won't only be our activity finder that finds that, but all the different activity finders that are around the place, because lots of them are popping up now, will pull your information. So it will kind of, I know This Girl Can, I've got one running at the moment for their campaign. So it will also appear in their session. Sport England are developing some different ones. So all the different activity finders will then host your session and should be able to improve attendances at classes. And on the other side, professionals working with people looking for a class local to them, you can pop their postcode in, find out what's going on around them, and find something suitable. I'll leave it there because we're running out of time, and I know you've got a couple more slides, Claudette.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to take this long. I thought we'd be finished a lot quicker, to be honest. So, okay, a couple more slides. I'll be as quick as I can. Just share my screen again. Okay, so I've spoke about the registration, and if anybody has any problems with registering, if people are supporting people to register onto the campaign and they have any issues, just there is a number that you can call and we can help you go through that. Just quickly, the evaluation process, which is a major part of any campaign, especially in public health. So like I said, there's 2 surveys. So the registration survey, which I just took you through, and then at 12 weeks, there will be a, oh, I'm not sharing, am I?
I was just about to say that.
That would help, wouldn't it? Okay. Okay, so yes, so the registration survey and then the follow-up survey at 12 weeks. So everybody that that signed up for the motivational messages will get a reminder to complete a registration, a follow-up survey, and then if need be, we'll be calling people to just remind them. And there's just the main things that we will be looking at will obviously be the number of people registered, whether their well-being score has improved, and whether their confidence in taking part in physical activity has improved, the number of days and minutes active, and then overall satisfaction of the campaign. So the registration and the completion survey play an integral part in this campaign. So we've been trying to make sure that those are as easy as possible for people to capture the information, and there will be a full evaluation report at the end, or available in the new year. Moving on. Okay, these are launch dates, so we'll be a lot of events over the first 2 weeks of the campaign. Majority of them are held with the Healthy Hubs. There's a few that are outside the fortnight, but a majority of those are with the hubs, and we will be having some comms go out around where we'll be and when we'll be at these places, so look out for those. We've got support from some of our local councillors, Maurice Bright and Fiona Thompson will be visiting a couple of those sessions as well. And then finally, how you can help is to promote the campaign at your team meetings, events, and through your wiser networks. Encourage your service users to sign up to the campaign. And again, if they need support, we're on the end of the telephone and we'll be able to guide you through that. Use our partner toolkit, will be available, I want to say, in the next couple of weeks. And they will include newsletter articles, social media tiles that you can share, newsletter templates, and then just and finally just use old-fashioned face-to-face contact with older adults and just encourage those to sign up as well. And those website details and the Never Too Late dedicated email address and a telephone number should you need it. Okay, that's me done. I'm going to stop sharing and then take some questions.
Thank you very much, Claudette. Bang on 11 o'clock as well. So if any attendees need to get off, then just to let you know, there's a survey that's going to pop up automatically on your web browser when you leave. You'll also be emailed a link to it if that's easier, just to get your views on some of the content from today and how you think you might be able to involve in the campaign. If you have got a few more minutes, then we're going to get through the questions now that have been posted as we go. So I've been making notes, so I can I might answer a couple and you might answer a couple, Claudette. We'll see how we go. But the first was from Fidenzi, who's at the Delcott Family Tennis Club in Welwyn Garden City. And he asked the question, it was while you were talking about the leisure providers, and if they're obviously not a leisure centre, well, the original question was, could the passes be used at a small local club like theirs? Oh, sorry, Attain. Sorry, Attain is a she, not a he. That's my fault. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, so what's the best way for them to be involved in the programme or in the campaign as a smaller club?
Okay, hi, Attain, thank you. Okay, so you just need to get in touch with me and we'll be able to, if you let us know how you want us to include your club. So all the leisure centres that are involved individually, and they've signed up to the programme, and they provided us with the details of their leisure pass. So each leisure pass will be specific to the leisure centre that has joined. So I couldn't take a leisure pass and go along to any club. It has to be ones that have joined and said that they're happy for us to provide these leisure passes, because like I said, they are free of charge. So if you want to drop me your details, and then we can have a chat offline how we can do that and get you involved in the campaign.
Brilliant. And make sure those details are on the activity finder as well.
Yes.
Next, Eleanor Cadzow, who works in the stroke team at Herts Community NHS Trust, has asked whether they'll be able to get hard copies of the marketing materials that they can pass to their elderly clients as they come through.
Yes, we are printing some hard copies. So again, if you want to drop me your information and let me know that's what you want, we can get those out to you. They'll be available in the next couple of weeks. We're just signing off those new changes. So yes, you can get hard copies. So just drop me an email.
Brilliant. This one might be above us in terms of technical ability. We might have to go away and find out. But Richard Hill, who I know well, he works at the Herts Disabled Cricket Association, does lots of work in care homes and clock cricket and walking cricket, different bits and pieces. He's asked, does the social media targeting tell you the demographic that are seeing it? i.e., do we know the age ranges of those seeing the campaign? It would be interesting to know if older people aged 70 plus are responding. Do we know the answer to that, or is that something we need to go away and find out?
We will know. We've got a few ways of that probably come through the evaluation, and it will come through things like when they register. This is for who's seen the adverts?
I think so, yeah, for the social media.
Okay. I'll have to go away and have a look at that, because that will come from the evaluation team. They'll be able to answer that question.
I think there are sort of levels of insights you can get from social media generally, and a comms team will know the more details about that. But once we find out, we'll let you know, Richard. And if we don't get back to you, get back to me, and I'll chase Claudette.
Email into the I'm just going to drop the Never Too Late email into the chat function.
Brilliant. And then last couple, we've had a couple from Charlotte. I know, so the list of leisure providers that signed up to the activity pass was in the application form, but is there somewhere that presents them? I think actually, yeah, you had the map. We answered that, didn't you? There's a map on the website that shows all of
on the website. Yes, there will be a map on the website. So if they click on the website, they'll be able to see where they are.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think Charlotte had asked that question before we got to that slide. And Charlotte's also asked when, I'm not sure if this was covered in the slides, when the website goes live. Is it in May?
Touch wood. We're hoping for the end of April. The reason why is because there's a lot of stuff around the back end for the registration form, not necessarily the website, but for the registration form. We're just doing a lot of user testing at the moment.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
And then the last question, I think, and please do comment in the chat if I've missed any, was another one from Attain in regards to when you were talking about the schools. She's asked, do we know which schools are registered, or is it a case that all schools can register and will be in that?
We've sent out communications to all primary schools about it. So they don't necessarily have to register. So anybody from any child from any primary school takes a picture of an older adult being active. That adult then has to click that this is the school that the child attends, and then that will make that school eligible. So even if just one person ticks a school, that school will then be eligible to go into the prize draw.
Fantastic. And I think that's all of the questions. Apologies if I have missed any. Please do get in touch after the event and we'll be able to get back to you personally to let you know. All that leaves me to do is extend a huge thank you to you, Claudette, for coming along and presenting everything. It's really interesting, really great to learn not only about the campaign, but the insights and the behaviour change and everything that sits underneath it that we probably normally wouldn't get to understand. So that's been fantastic to understand. Obviously, if anyone wants to have extended conversations with Claudette, then she's put her details in the chat already, and it will be in the details that we circulate after this with the recording of this event. And failing that, like I said, the survey will pop up as you leave, and it will also be emailed to you. There's a chance to feed into there if you think there's anything missing from the campaign, or how you think you might be able to be involved. It's completely anonymous, so we won't be getting back in touch with you to hold you account to what you're saying in there, but it just helps us in terms of getting ideas about how people are perceiving the campaign and how you might be able to be involved so that we can spread that learning across the county. And other than that, I will be circulating all the details for this and other events after this. If anyone has any questions about the campaign or the wider Live Longer Better in Hertfordshire movement, please do get in touch at any time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you to everybody for being so kind. This is my first webinar, so I was a little bit nervous, but thank you very much for everybody for being so kind, and thank you for your questions, and hopefully we'll see you all soon and have lots of people joining up.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you, Claudette, and thanks everyone. We'll see you all soon.